Chandigarh, Chandigarh. Oh, hello everyone. Welcome back to my show called Kabir Speaks, where I tell stories about people from freedom fighters to athletes to filmmakers, so on and so forth. But I've added another segment to my show Kabir Speaks where I will be reviewing and analyzing films with respect to different filmmaking elements such as screenwriting, direction, acting, editing, cinematography, costume design, production design, sound design, and music. So the film today that I'm going to be analyzing is the film Chandigarh Kare Aashiqui starring Ayushmann Khurrana and Vani Kapoor. It's directed by Abhishek Kapoor, who has previously made films like Kedarnath, Rock On, Kai Puche, Fitur, and so on and so forth. I'm going to spoil it for you, so if you haven't watched the film, please do go and watch it and then come back. So to begin with the story, Ayushmann Khurrana is based off in Chandigarh and he has his own gym. He's a big gym buff and he's known as that one of those macho Punjabi guys. Vani Kapoor, on the other hand, is someone who's a Zumba instructor. So he goes to Ayushmann Khurrana's gym one day and she asks if she can teach Zumba in his gym. When Vani Kapoor goes to Ayushmann Khurrana's gym, they ended up liking each other. Ayushmann especially has a liking for her and he approaches her and then they go out and so on and so forth. So the main spoiler here is that Vani Kapoor was actually a trans girl, a transsexual girl, meaning she was in the body of a boy before. However, she had gone through a sex change and she had become a woman now. And the second half is all about the struggle between Ayushmann Khurrana trying to accept Vani Kapoor as who she is now and how the family members react to it. Now, to begin with the screenplay, characters are very well written. Ayushmann Khurrana pulls it off really well. He continues to surprise me in every single of his films. The way his character is written is he's one of those macho kids, grew up in that environment where that masculinity was related to the strength, physical strength. That's the environment he grew up in, which is what is shown in his character later on. Vani Kapoor, on the other hand, from the beginning itself, people know that there's something that's going to come up later on in the film. There's always the doubt about what is she hiding? Why is she so hesitant, even if she likes that Ayushmann's character is approaching her? In my opinion, they could have avoided that. It could have made it a more surprising element when we got to know Vani Kapoor's truth. If they had shown the childhood of these characters, it would have made it an even better film. And how they interacted among their family members, which they briefly touch upon in the film, but they don't really focus on. But if they had showed that during the childhood, how Ayushmann grew up in that toxic masculine environment, which is why he had very much difficulty to accept that fact. And Vani Kapoor, obviously, the hardship she already faced, that showed the strength in her character later on. She was not scared of anything. She was still going to live her life the way she was. They could have shown another layer to their love story. Because of the way they grew up, they connected with each other. The way they weren't accepted, that is what they could have showed us that they connected to each other. Now on to direction. As I've always said, I'm a big fan of Mr. Abhishek Kapoor. Not a single film goes where I feel bored when I'm watching his films. He has handled the subject so well. Once you hear those insults and the way she reacts, it's so realistic. Even if you don't know anyone from the LGBT members, you can connect to that idea of how much abuse they must have gone through. It's the realism that Mr. Abhishek Kapoor has done so well to bring to that film, and it doesn't seem very awkward for people who are new to the topic. So that's the beauty of the direction, in my opinion. Now, going on to the editing. Like I said, the screenplay wise, if they had shown more childhood of the characters, it's about a 2 hour film, but I think it would have been up to 2.5 or 3 hour film. It still wouldn't have mattered because the direction was going to be engaging anyways. And coming on to the acting, Ayushmann Khurrana, like he's a natural Punjabi boy, so the dialogue delivery is as if he's at home. He speaks like as if he's among his friends, so it feels very realistic. He doesn't seem like he's forced to take the topic because he wants to show the message across, but he's living the character. He's very natural. I became the biggest fan of Vani Kapoor after this film. After Shud Desi Romance, she's finally got a film where she can actually show off her acting skills. In the movie, there's so many insults thrown at her, even at her looks, and she has boldly accepted it. She was able to pull off the story really well. I don't see any other actress who could have probably accepted a role like this. Her vulnerable moments, the way sometimes she has those silent moments where she has nothing to say. You can feel that pain, what she felt throughout the childhood up until now. And you can also see strength in the character that she's not going to stop being herself. And also the supporting cast have been brilliant. The twin brothers, special shout out. They were hilarious. I think they're going to go far in the films. All the other supporting characters, I wish they had more screen time. Now going on to cinematography. The cinematography is brilliant. I'll give you an example of this one specific scene where Ayushmann gets to know about Vani Kapoor's truth. He feels like his male ego is hurt because of the way his character is. So he's at the gym and he's running the treadmill. And Vani Kapoor comes in the frame. The treadmill is supposed to be up, so Ayushmann Khurrana is naturally standing above and he's running. and Vani Kapoor is shown at a level where she's below him. This is deliberately done in the film because Ayushmann feels he's superior to her. She betrayed him. So in that position, the way the physical characters are shown, Ayushmann is feeling superior, Vani is feeling inferior. And that is the whole crux of the scene. This is very subtle, that the way the characters were placed, you don't realize it, but the dynamics of it plays it well into the scene. Music wise, except the title song, which was actually a remix of the original Punjabi song, the rest of the music I really enjoyed it. Where he's contemplating whether he can accept her or not. The song that is played at that time really hits you hard. You really feel for them and you really want the characters to be able to solve that conflict. You really also understand Ayushmann's side because he's trying to accept it, but he just cannot because the way he grew up. Costume. If you see the color scheme of the whole film, it's neither pink neither blue. When we talk about blue and pink colors, for example, if you're buying a piece of cloth or a toy, when you go to a certain section, in the boys section, you see mostly blue colors. When you go to the female section, it's mostly pink colors. We usually associate those colors with two different genders, which is what it's trying to show in the whole film itself, that gender is not binary. It has a spectrum of it. So, which is what the color scheme does that really well. That's one way they've told the story. Ayushmann's costumes have the similar, like a darker colors that are mostly associated with the male. And later on, his costume also starts changing later on. The colors start becoming a little lighter as well, and a little more into the pink shade as well. You can see towards the end of the film. Production design. You also see his room. He has posters of all the gym people that he's inspired with, like UFC fighters, and you have like, I think Arnold's poster was there as well, and all those. That's reality. I've seen people who do that. It's not something they did it just for the film. So the production design as well was very well thought out. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found something that you haven't noticed in the film. So thanks very much and take care. Goodbye.